Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're digging into what it really takes to grow on YouTube. We're going to look way beyond the shiny promises of SEO tools to figure out what the algorithm is actually looking for. So get a load of this number, 3.7 million. That's how many new videos get uploaded to YouTube every single day. I mean, it's not just a platform anymore. It's one of the most competitive creative spaces on the entire planet. And that right there is the biggest challenge for pretty much every creator out there. Just getting discovered. How in the world do you get your hard work seen by the right people when you're swimming in a sea of millions of other videos? Well, naturally, a lot of us start looking for some kind of edge, right? We turn to these really powerful SEO tools, like VidIQ and TubeBuddy, because they promise to decode the algorithm and hand us the perfect keywords to make our views just skyrocket. But what if focusing on those keyword scores is kind of missing the point? What if the algorithm's main goal is actually a lot simpler and, a lot more human? Let's pull back the curtain and see what YouTube really cares about. Let's just start with a quick reality check, and this comes straight from YouTube itself. Tags, which are a huge focus for a lot of these tools, they play a, and I quote, minimal role in discovery. This is a massive clue that the old way of thinking about YouTube SEO is just, well, it's outdated. And this chart, man, it just perfectly illustrates this huge disconnect. So many creators are completely obsessed with things like keyword scores and getting their tags perfect, but the YouTube algorithm, it's laser focused on viewer behavior. It really only asks two simple questions. Did they click on it? And did they stick around to watch? So it all comes down to this one crucial thing, audience retention. That is the ultimate measure of a good video in YouTube's eyes. If your video can keep people on the platform longer, YouTube sees that as a huge win. And why wouldn't they? More watch time means more ads, and that's their whole business. So they'll reward you by pushing your video out to more people. It really is that simple. So, before you even think about spending a single dime on any of these fancy tools, it is absolutely essential to nail the fundamentals. And the best part? These are the free, high-impact things that lay the groundwork for everything else. Your video's first impression all comes down to its metadata. That's your title, your thumbnail, and your description. And they all have to work together as a team. Think of the title and thumbnail like a movie poster, right? It's designed to grab attention. And the description, that's the summary on the back that confirms what the video is all about while also being packed with your important keywords. And here's a little pro tip for you. Don't just type your keywords. You need to say them out loud in your video. Why? Because YouTube automatically transcribes everything you say. So when the algorithm hears you mention the very keywords your video is targeting, it's this incredibly powerful confirmation that, yep, your content is exactly what it says it is. Okay, so once you have that solid foundation in place, then we can have a much more realistic conversation about these SEO tools. They're not a magic wand, but they can be super powerful assistants if you know how to use them the right way. So if we look at the two biggest players, VidIQ and TubeBuddy, you'll see they have different strengths. VidIQ is just fantastic for doing a deep dive on your competitors and for tracking views per hour, which is a great metric for seeing what's trending right now. TubeBuddy, on the other hand, is amazing with its weighted scores that are tailored to your channel's specific size, and its thumbnail A/B testing feature is a total game changer for figuring out what image gets more clicks. But this brings up a question that drives creators absolutely crazy. Why does one tool say a keyword is a perfect 100 out of 100, while the other one says it's way too competitive? So who's right? Well, the answer might surprise you. Now, what's so interesting here is this answer from an actual TubeBuddy employee on Reddit. He basically explains that both companies are pulling the exact same raw data from YouTube. The different scores you see are because each one uses its own secret sauce, its own private algorithm to interpret all that data. And that leads us to the single most important thing to remember about these tools. Those scores, they are not facts. They are educated guesses. They're meant to be used for direction, to get ideas, to get a general feel for what's out there, not as some absolute guarantee that you're gonna go viral. Now, understanding this helps us avoid some of those classic rookie mistakes. So let's quickly run through a few of the traps that can actually end up hurting your channel's growth. Oh yeah, these are the big ones. Writing a single sentence for a description, which just wastes a huge opportunity to tell the algorithm what your video is about. Or stuffing your tag section with a ton of irrelevant keywords, which to YouTube just looks spammy and confusing. And maybe the worst offender, using misleading clickbait titles. That just kills your audience retention and your reputation when people get annoyed and click away. So, how do we pull all of this together into a practical strategy you can actually use? Let's build a simple, repeatable plan for real growth. Here it is, just a simple 4-step loop. First, you research your topics and keywords. Second, you create the most engaging, high-retention video you possibly can. Third, you optimize all the fundamentals we talked about: title, thumbnail, description. And finally, you promote it to get those crucial first viewers in the door. And notice where the tools fit into all this. They're a component, a part of the research and the optimization steps. They are there to support your strategy. They are not the strategy itself. Their job is just to make your workflow a little bit easier, not to replace the hard work of making awesome content. And that really is the bottom line. As the digital tool expert Kripesh Advani puts it so well, no tool in the world is going to save a bad video. The absolute non-negotiable foundation for all growth on YouTube is, and it always will be, creating content that people genuinely want to watch. Which leaves us with this final question to think about. When you look at your own channel, your own strategy, are these tools an essential part of your workflow, something that helps you make better content? Or are they actually a distraction, pulling your focus away from the one thing that truly matters, the viewer? Answering that question for yourself, well, that's the real key to unlocking growth.